onegaishimasu. So my uke punches in. The first and most important thing I'm going to do is I'm going to step offline. I don't want to get hit with this, so stepping offline is the most important part. Now, as far as catching the hand, you don't really want to catch the hand here. You want to grab the arm because this is the fastest part of this attack. I'm grabbing the arm and pulling down. Then I slide my hand to his wrist. Once I do that, I want to also keep in mind that he does have a secondary attack here that could potentially hurt me as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step offline again as I lift his arm up in front of me. Now if he does decide to attack, at least I have my hand here, I can move or use my taijutsu, which I'm going to step my foot back and take his wrist straight down. Once I'm down here, I can either do some sort of break, some sort of lockup, and we're good to go, and we're back to come on. Arigato. Onegaishimasu. Ta! He! He! So this time, my uke is going to grab and then punch. So uke comes up, he's going to grab. The first thing I want to do is I don't want to stand here because he can move me all over the place. My balance is too center at this point. So what I want to do is get into a kamae called shizentai, which is just a slight step here, feet a little off center. What that's going to do is I'm going to slightly move him forward and shift his balance to where I want him. Then I'm going to set my hands up and cover. I'm not going to grab because that'll alert the enemy. What I want to do is cover very gently. He's going to then punch. As he punches, same thing, get offline. I'm going to do a quick jodan to deflect this away. As I do that, I want to step offline in the same position we did before. I'm going to pull my gi out of his hands, not pull his hand off my gi. That's very important as well. So I'm going to rip my gi out of his hands as I put his hand in front of him as well. Same thing as before, step here, and go straight down, and then here, just like before, I can either break, do whatever control technique or lock up, and then back to kamae.
So that was the traditional way of doing Omote Gyaku. In the scrolls, it starts off doing it from a punch, and then usually from a grab and a punch. So we gave you an example of both ones. That's the traditional way most schools train in some form of Omote Gyaku. What I like to talk about is not using that forward punching hand. In many ways, that hand is coming so fast, or they're not just going to leave their arm out there for you to be able to do something. So this moving target is very difficult to capture. It's also very difficult to grab. It's also very difficult to hit. What most people are not focused on, when they're punching with this forward hand, this backhand is just there, maybe defending their face, but it's kind of in a defensive posture. It's not really on the forward part of their head. They're thinking about hitting you with this right hand. What we're going to talk about today is attacking the left hand. All right? So I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Onegaishimasu. So if he kind of in a traditional fighting stance there, and he's kind of throwing this right punch to the side of my face, what I'm going to do is move offline and use my forward hand to attack this backhand. And then when I come in, using this elbow to strike to the face as I'm breaking this hand. Once he's down, you can do whatever you want to be able to do to be able to control him. All right? So again, if I'm moving around and that punch comes here, I can block this, just parrying this, and if he pulls his hand back, I'm still able to come in hard on that other hand. And then using this to tap, and then keeping this in your center, and then just breaking it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a real fight situation. Just break that wrist as hard as you can. If you need to come down and smash it to the ground, you can. What I like to do is when I'm up here, it's just a really hard stomp down to the head, trying to break anything that I can. Controlling the wrist and causing as much damage as I can. If he punches a traditional Ichimonji, same thing. I can jodan and still hit this hand here. Again, controlling, keeping this in your center where it's really tight. I can control and lock this using against my body. Using elbow here, pressure in this way to kind of keep control on it. Slow motion. That's it. He throws the punch. Move. Hit this forward hand. Attack with as much as you can as you control this. Keep this elbow in your thigh and just break that wrist in tight. All right? If he reaches to push me, I can do the same thing. Again, slow motion. That's it. Using this hand. Coming across. Back down. Setting him up. Big stomp against my own leg. I can even bring this down against his own body and use this pressure here to snap and break the wrist. So if he punches in with this hand here, that's it. I can move out and try to get a Omote Gyaku. But if he does like a jab, sometimes it's hard for me to catch it. So as that punch comes in, moving and focusing on this opposite hand. Getting in tight. Using all of your targets. Once he's down, controlling with a quick break. And get your distance and make sure you're safe. So that's what I'm talking about as far as attacking the backhand. Whatever he's doing with his punching hand, focus on his hand that's just sitting there. It's much easier to hit a standing target than a moving target. So when you're doing your training at the dojo, practice that Omote Gyaku like we did earlier. But don't forget about that backhand. Thank you very much.